Well, hello. It's time for another exciting episode of Pens in Use. This is the show where I talk about the fountain pens and inks I've been using throughout the week. So let's dive into it. If videos like this interest you, where I talk about fountain pens both new and old and at all price points, I would invite you to subscribe. And hey, what are you grateful for this time of year? Or maybe you have some thoughts on a couple of topics I brought up. So let's take a look at some pens and then we'll talk a little bit about gratitude. Alright, so these are the pens that I've been using this week. And I apologize if you hear that outside. It is super windy. Gusts well over 50 miles an hour, so, you know. Back door already blew open once this evening. So anyway, the pens from left to right are the Pilot Custom Heritage 92, the Lamy 2000, which is about to take a well-earned break, the Stanford Wood Pens Miyuki Magic, Christmas baubles, the Aurora DuoCart, the Sheaffer Snorkel Clipper, the Sheaffer Legacy 2, the Pelikan 400 NN, and the Nahvalur Nautilus. As always, we'll be doing this writing sample in this Cognitive Surplus Theory Notebook. I just realized I also hear my neighbor must have some wind chimes up. Definitely ringing them tonight. Alright, so first pen on our little excursion into writing instruments, a little sampler set, is the Pilot Custom Heritage 92. I realized I mentioned staining last week and never actually showed you what I meant. But yeah, this pen has some staining from an ink I commonly use, or have in the past. Noodler's Matahari's cordial in it, and that apparently stains it. But that's a weakness of demonstrators in general. So the Pilot Custom Heritage, apparently the heritage means it's squared off. 92, with a broad nib. And the ink in it is Robert Oster, Summer Storm. Kind of evocative. North Dakota can get some wild and woolly summer storms going. Presumably Australia can too, especially in the outback, which is, don't tell anybody, but the part of Australia I would most like to see. I would really love to go visit some of these more isolated small towns in the outback. I'm just weird that way. Alright, so as a sketch, let's see if I can roughly get the shape of Australia right. Does that look Australia-ish? I hope so. Oh, and all the Australian viewers unsubscribe en masse. Moving on, at least it wasn't offensive. Moving on, we've got the lovely Lamy 2000, which is going to be taking a break soon. Always does over the holiday break. There's a fine nib in it. And the ink, which won't be in it after break, is Lamy Blue Black. Yeah. Okay, I take that back. I've actually kind of liked using blue black at school, just because in a pinch I can correct with it. It stands out a little bit. It's subtle, but it does stand out because it's not blue, it's not black, it's blue black. I think I like Parker Quink Blue Black better, or maybe the Pilot Blue Black is pretty nice also. Not a flex pen. Let's see, for an ink, or for a drawing, I'm kind of drawing a blank here, so Bleu. Yeah, we don't have room for the E. Glug, 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 glug. And a bottle of black. B L A C K. Well, sort of fits. I did some paper chromatography on this, by the way, and put it into a big mixing bowl. And it has a black portion that is pretty much insoluble, doesn't move, and then a blue part that moves up, and then a blue part that doesn't move up. So, for whatever that's worth. Did I remember to bring it home? Of course not. I just did it as a quick demonstration at school, and later on thought, oh, I should share that with the channel. Too late. Next pen is my Stanford wood pens, Miyuki Magic. This is either the Magic or the Miyuki. Not Mucus, Miyuki. They're African beads, because this is traditional African art, because this pen was made in Africa, because I have a pen from every continent except Antarctica. Stanford wood pens. I don't know what the nib is. Something thick. Miyuki Magic. And the ink is a very bright Atramentis. I thought about brightness too. Red roses. Because I wanted a nice bright... I wanted a couple of nice bright inks here. Kind of limited with how many pens I used up this week. But this one was a bright ink, so it came back for an encore. And you'll see another bright one later on. As a ink, or as a drawing, I kind of like the Atramentis bottles. I mean, when they get low, they're annoying because they're hard to fill from. But they look nice. They feel very quality. And they're made by a chemist, and I teach chemistry. Well, the bottles aren't, but the ink in them is. And then we have Aurora DuoCart, my black ink for now. Might be transferring into the Lamy 2000, it may not. Any nib you want, as long as it's medium. Park or Quink black. We'll have another swatch. I feel like I should have made the previous swatch just a teensy bit big. Oops, what are we doing here? I should have made the previous swatch just a teensy bit bigger. I have actually been writing with the Lamy 2000 more than this pen because I like the Lamy 2000. You know, it's just such a... not a complicated design. Yeah, you got that nice macrolon. And you can't hardly even see where the piston knob, turning knob is. So yeah, I just drew a picture of a competing pen with my Aurora DuoCart. Didn't try to make it three-dimensional. And now we have my Sheaffer Snorkel clipper. See, there's the snorkel. There's the clipper. No, sorry, jeez. That is not a clipper. I apologize. I don't know why I said that. Just strike that from the video. Sheaffer Snorkel clipper. And the ink, which I'm surprised is still in here. Herbin. Bleu Myosotis. I actually filmed a bunch of videos that were revisits to pens, survivor pens, Sheaffers mostly, and now I think this is one I got to film also. So what do we do for survivors from shipwrecks? We throw them a lifesaver. Not the candy, the floaty kind. Right? Right. And a clipper's a type of ship, so there, I can get away with that stretch for a drawing. This is my Sheaffer Legacy 2. I want to say Hemingway Jones had one of these on his channel this week. Has the very attractive, when it focuses, come on, very attractive inlaid nib. See, I think I've got the whole camera situation mastered now. It was a struggle for a while. This is just a fun pen to write with. Medium usually isn't my favorite, but I actually like it with this one. Herbin. Almost gone. Lidete. So I got one or two other browns to use up, and then I might be back to this stuff. As a brown, you know, brown isn't my favorite ink color. I don't know why. It just isn't. But, you know, for brown, it's pretty pleasant. So I drink my tea using a tea strainer because I'm a snob that way. The one I use at school is made out of silicone. These two parts snap together. One of my types of tea I drink has very small leaves, and so I need small holes so they don't leak through. How we get my very attractive Pelikan 400NN from the 1950s. Let's just drink in that nib for a second. And the finish, because apparently Pelikan is no longer doing these transparent bits in between the green. See, I told you I'd get another bright one. Pelikan 400NN. And the ink here is, Robert Oster. Yellow Sunset. I think there's a hymn that goes like, beyond the sunset. Beyond the sunset, that fateful morning. And I don't remember the rest of it. It's amazing how music can just get inside you and pops up at random moments. And I've read that, people with dementia that played a musical instrument, their ability to do that is one of the last things that goes. And people that play music or listen to music also tend to have much slower onset of dementia. So let's draw a brain, a really deformed brain. There, brain. And my last pen, also with a nice bright ink, is this Nahvalur Nautilus, and I noticed in my video description last week I misspelled it. Nahvalur Nautilus. There's a broad nib, And it has Sailor Jentle, Apricot. Ooh, pretty. Nice bright orange. I'm going to give it a break for a while I use up the yellow sunset, because this pen is almost empty. I question whether I wanted to risk running it in this video, but I decided to. It looks like I've made it. But anyway, bright, happy ink. And so if you're happy and you know it, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Your really deformed hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your really deformed hands. And there we go. Enough music from the squirrel. Let's go back to my face so I feel more awkward embarrassing myself. So those are the pens and inks I've been using this week. It's appropriate that I'm using that Stanford wood pen because it's one of its names is Christmas Baubles. So, you know, it is that time of year. So I wanted to start out, I was thinking about a topic. I had something a little more controversial in mind, and it just didn't seem to sit right with me. So I spent a lot of time thinking about it, and I'm not filming this the night I usually do, because I spent so long thinking about it. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about you. So I want to thank you for keeping this channel going. The thing with this channel, yes, I do have it all written down here so I don't forget something that I planned out. But the thing about this channel is it's very niche. We are talking about, the majority of my videos, we are talking about a fountain pen, which is really a luxury writing instrument in today's world. And with me, we're more often talking about lesser known vintage fountain pens. We've got North Dakota as a topic on this channel. And then, of course, there's all my random interests that pop in, like the books I read that aren't typically the popular books. And you stick with me through all that, so I thank you for that. And this year, it's been kind of a struggle for various reasons to keep up my regular schedule. I'm hoping things will settle down now, but we'll see. I will film a little bit ahead over the break, so that might help too. I'm going to just open with the crass part of this, the money. You don't get rich doing YouTube unless you're a really huge channel. You don't even make a living on YouTube unless you're a really huge channel. So the money I make here is purely from advertising, the ads you see on YouTube. So I'm not obviously making a whole lot of money doing this, and that's why I don't do it for money. I did experiment a little over this past year with some membership features. Now, I never made it public. I just wanted to see what I could do with the membership features. You know, I thought, oh, if I could offer something of value, maybe. Don't really see it. And really, I thought, well, how does it help my viewers? But you would have seen some of the videos were marked for viewers only, and then they became available later. And then that was all an experiment. I just thought, what value am I offering, and for what, if I were to actually pursue this? So if you've seen that, this video should be the last one where you'll see that feature on, because there's one little thing I want to try with it. I do this for fun, and I want to meet my pen people, interact with them, people who enjoy my strange, obscure interests. The comments are something I look forward to. They're just a fun weekly interaction. Now, sometimes you'll notice maybe it goes a week before I respond to a comment, and I do a flurry of them. It's kind of, I schedule various times, and sometimes I can't do it at the time I scheduled, because I don't want social media taking over my life. I know it's scheduled, and outside the schedule, no. But I am still small enough that I can respond to all comments. That's a good thing. My channel, I have, 7,000 some subscribers. You know, I'm kind of hoping to hit 10,000 someday, but At this very slow rate that I grow, that could be years. But what I enjoy with the comments is generally they're positive or they're constructive. There have been a lot of people kind of losing faith in me because of my struggles with the camera. But I think that's been licked because I haven't gotten comments about the camera work lately. So I'm hoping I've solved that one finally. I do get the occasional negative comment. It's YouTube. Sometimes it's just a disagreement, and you're just like, okay, whatever, we disagree. Sometimes it's like, do you even know what the video is about? Or, if I do a book review, they take issue with the topic of the book. Didn't write the book. Sorry. Just because I read the book doesn't even mean I agreed with it. And sometimes it's just mean. But it's YouTube, and you have to expect that. And, sometimes, especially if it's just mean, I enjoy a smart aleck response. Live streams have been even better. I am always super nervous to do a live stream, and I always question myself, really? Do you want to do this? I don't want to. And then once I start doing it, I actually enjoy myself. I get the chance to interact with you more directly. And I do plan to do one or two over the break, so don't worry, that's coming. One or two might be topical, and then I'll try to do one or two that are just whoever shows up. You build the live stream. I'll just play along with the questions. And another fun thing that's come out of this channel is I've had the chance to do some interviews, and I want to do more. Now, I know some of my viewers don't like me doing interviews, but I like them, so they're not going to be a regular thing, but they are going to be a thing. But, I got to talk reviewing with an ink guy. That was actually interesting. Somebody who does what I do in a lot of ways, because he's also a teacher. But we got to talk reviewing and how we think about reviewing, and he gave me some things to really think about with my channel. And I enjoyed that. I didn't talk much about video with Miss Marilyn Darling, although she also does what I do, review pens. But we got to talk calligraphy, and we got to see the biggest ink collection I think I've ever seen. But again, I don't know. I know calligraphy is an art, but I don't know a lot about how to do it. So that was interesting. Pierre Gustafson is the one person out of all of these that I've actually met in person. And I still found it very interesting to interview him because we talked specifically about art and sketching. I knew, because I've watched him do it, how he sketches is always with these rapid strokes with vintage fountain pens. But I never understood how that translated to art. And now I do. A lot of what he posts, because he does post on Instagram, is, I think, his sketches. The finished product, because he is a professional artist, is for sale, so he can't exactly post that on Instagram. And I got to talk poetry with Carson Hauser. That was interesting, too, because we got to talk... I knew about him, and I just thought, well, wait. Bull rider, rancher, ag teacher, and he writes poetry. And, I just was very curious after I heard about him how those four things came together in one person. And now I know. And I do hope to do more. I have a few ideas in mind. I haven't contacted anybody yet, but I have some ideas in mind. One thing when you're a small channel like me, I'm always nervous about approaching somebody bigger and saying, oh, please, sir, could you do an interview with me? And then you feel awkward doing that. But I'd like to do a few more. And now there's a collaboration feature I might have to try. Oh, shoot, the phone that's operating this is on low battery. But anyway, I do want to do some more, especially with artists, because I'm nervous about what generative AI is going to do, and AI in other areas too. And saying, hey, we don't need no humans. I have some of my viewers actually will sit through my driving videos, which are very heavily footnoted, deep dives into various topics, sometimes controversial topics, while North Dakota scenery rolls by on the screen. Definitely an acquired taste. And there is more coming on this channel. We're going to talk more books. I plan some more traveling, some pens, of course. They're the backbone of the channel. And, just all the obscure topics that make up this channel. We're, as a channel, as the Badlands Pen Club, because it doesn't seem to exist in the real world, so it exists virtually, and you're a member. The Badlands Pen Club is united by a love of one particular writing instrument, and there is so much more to it. Because really, a lot of us are here because we love the written word. I'm no poet. My writing style is very black and white, very linear, not creative, not the, it'd be a good synonym for linear. I write. And it's more the ideas that are coming out that appeal to me. And that's it. We're people who love ideas, who love knowledge, and aren't threatened by it. And I'm glad to have you along for the ride. So I wish you a happy holiday, whatever holiday you celebrate. And talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you.